Go ahead, Steve, you can start.
Thank you so much, Bill. So I'd like to call to order this January 4th meeting of the Norwalk Shellfish Commission. Seeing that we do have a quorum, has attendance been taken beyond that?
It has.
Thank you, sir. So last month there was no quorum, but Bill has noted that the November minutes, there was no vote to approve them. Would that be possible to take a motion on those just to get those off our plate?
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Okay, I see one from
Oh.
John. Pete, second.
Second.
Thank you, sir. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, ayes have it. November minutes approved. Thank you so much, Bill.
There's Nick. I just saw Nick.
There he
How
is,
you doing, Nick?
hanging in there.
Good to see
Again.
you. Public comment, looking at participants. We do have one, and I think I knew who that person is. So may not be appropriate for public comment, but if the Bill or the moderator would like to bring that person into the discussion for old business, that would be great.
They can go ahead and come in if they're able to talk. Jerry, you able to talk?
I'm sorry, were you talking to Jerry Tony?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. Yes, Steve, he's in.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming, Jerry.
Not a problem.
Okay, treasurer's report, Bill, again, please.
Sure. The balance is $26,305.67. There was an expenditure of $402.50 for splitting the cost with Harbor regarding let's see, some work on the boat.
Okay.
All right. And there is that's the only change in it. I did pick up the clam permits a couple of weeks ago, and there was $958 that was received from Fisherman's World. I did drop it off to the comptroller's office, along with actually even before that, the checks for the party. They haven't been cashed or deposited yet, so I'll kind of follow up on that so that we can get that done. So that's still
Hey,
pending.
Bill, on that point, I was actually at Fisherman's World today, and they said they're already having people come in, so they were looking to understand when they might receive the 2024s.
Yep, they're on order. I'm thinking maybe next week.
Okay. I'll relay that to them.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks. And as soon as they're ready, Steve, just let me know and I'll pick them up and I'll run them down there.
Will do. Bill, one question. The item that we paid for the Shellfish and Harbor Master boat, is that a separate charge from the one that's under new or old business tonight?
I believe it is. It's let me see. It's
Wonder if that was that finally the enclosure part that we just paid
no,
for?
it says I'll just read what the activity states. It just says hauled and launched Harbor Master boat to painted the bottom materials. So I think that's a little bit different than the work on the engine though, right?
I would think, yeah.
Supposedly they're supposed to have worked on the engine.
No, it's not in the
Well,
invoice.
tune-up and stuff.
It's a separate item. I don't know.
Okay. Maybe Sergeant Bisegli can speak to that during committee reports. Anything else, Bill?
No, that was it.
Thank
Sorry.
you, sir. Secretary's report, I'll just be very brief. And I just wanted to send a quick message out to thank former P&Z Commissioner Mushak for his comments with respect to the potential development of Manresa Island. My personal view of that is similar to his. I think with perhaps the sole exception of having it become part of what I personally, again, consider a failed Stuart B. McKinney National Wildlife Refuge. I think that's frankly been a disaster. And just for advertising purposes, I think that it might be a good idea for us to co-opt the internal structure of the smokestack for some iconic Norwalk thing, be it a giant razor clam, something on this nature. But beautiful 365 degrees, 65-foot structure that maybe we could make some iconic use out of. Committee reports. Back to you, Bill, please. Department of Health.
Okay, so rainfall for the month of December was 8.17 inches. Last year, it was 4.54, historically 3.89, so almost double the normal amount for the month of December. There were 4 closures, all due to rainfall. There was Cook's Ground was closed on 12/3, and then all of them were closed on 12/10, 12/18, and 12/27, again, due to excessive rainfall. There were 2 bypasses reported, one on 12/18 and one on 12/28. Both lasted approximately 7.5 hours each in duration. And that's it for my report.
Thank you so much, Bill. No one here from wastewater treatment plant. Just maybe for the newer commissioners, I do note that we do receive the monthly operating report and the annual reports from them. If you're ever interested in reading them, it contains the information that Bill just presented, in addition to some biological factors and tests that they perform throughout the year. It's kind of interesting as far as the science is concerned. Mayor's Water Quality Committee, there will be no report. Bill mentioned today in the email that there has been no chair appointed. Bill, is there any thought perhaps about appointing a temporary chair such that we can just get this going again? Maybe one of the current committee members?
It's possible. I've been in touch with the mayor's office in a couple of weeks to find out what's going on. I think Tom Livingston is taking it on, I think, to help expedite things. So I think by February we'll have something in place. I'm not quite sure what it is.
Yeah.
But I believe we'll have a meeting for the first, hopefully. Yeah.
Thanks, Bill. A very important committee. Permits Bill spoke to already. Police, Sergeant Bisegli, please, sir.
Hey guys, Happy New Year. Nothing really to report on the Shellfish side. I'm sure some of you have probably heard the excavator barge at the walk bridge had some sort of hydraulic oil spill. Not exactly sure how much. It was a 50-gallon drum, but they claim only 10 gallons went into the water. And that was on probably a week and a half ago now. We're following up on it. DEP is notified, Coast Guard is notified, and that's pretty much where that's at.
And would you say, Sergeant, that this was not self-reported, that it was discovered by Officer Lee in progress?
That's correct. Yeah, it was discovered by Officer Lee was removing a log from the harbor, and we had 2 extra duty units that were out there as well. And once he saw the oil slick, he directed them to go up the river to try to find the source of it, and it was found at the back of that excavation barge.
I mean, I'm sure you can't discuss any investigation items, but is there any idea in terms of the time it took between the leak happening and Officer Lee discovering it?
I don't know exact time frame on when, but like I said, it was not a small amount of oil based on what the NRC believes and what DEP believes. So that part's being investigated by their agencies.
Okay, thank you, sir. We'll look
Out of
forward.
curiosity, who gets held responsible or accountable for any fines associated? Is that the contractor, or does it ultimately fall back to the state?
So I don't know for sure. I believe ultimately it would be the contractor because they're the ones that are responsible for the equipment. I know that it was not Chiambro who was the contractor for the entire project. It was a subcontractor, I believe, who owns that piece of equipment. So I would imagine that it would ultimately fall on them. But like I said, I'm not that would not be our purview as far as levying fines on certain people. That's going to be DEP most likely.
All right.
Thank you, Sergeant.
And I know there was a question about the harbor master boat, the engine work.
Oh, please go ahead.
So I don't believe that it was hauled yet. I know that Cove they shut down, as does All Seasons, for a period of time now. So I'm going to guess that Bruce is probably going to have that hauled probably towards the beginning of the season, I would imagine. but
Okay.
I'm not positive. I don't believe the engine work has been done on it yet, though.
Mhm. So in terms of work, it's just maintenance? There was nothing wrong? Or we had a leak, didn't we, in the power trim and tilt?
That's what it sounded like, but I don't know if that was um, looked at by all seasons yet. I know that I think Billy Landon took a look at it.
Yeah. I see your photo still has your Hondas. I know you've been upgraded massively to Yamahas now.
Yeah, it's down in Suffolk Marine now, so we should have that back in the next 2 weeks, hopefully.
That's great.
Yeah, I'm
Congratulations.
looking forward to it. It's gonna be nice.
Cool. Under advisory, Sergeant, do you have a water temperature?
He was out there yesterday. It was like 38, 39.
Wow. Okay. Thank you,
So a
sir.
little chilly. Yep.
It is indeed. Norwalk Harbor Management Commission, Chairman Kibbe, if you would, please, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Steve. Relatively little going on. We're already into preparation for the 2024 season. We're working on the mooring layouts. We have to accommodate the extra vessels on station in Norwalk River this year, and so it'll influence some of the layout of our existing moorings. Although I think that the contractor was very, very helpful in adjusting their location so we don't have to relocate moorings of our seasonal mooring holders. So that was a pleasant experience that all got was accomplished. So we're beginning to work on that, the layout of the harbor for that, for the vessel stations as well. Other than that, it's a quiet season for us, other than looking forward to next year.
All of us. Thank you, sir.
Questions?
Chairman Dr. Pinto, and would you like to add anything, sir?
I'm sorry, I apologize. I just opened up the website here and I'm not sure exactly what you were talking about here.
We're within committee reports, and the last committee report is Norwalk Harbor Management Commission. And thanks for coming. I know Jeff couldn't make it tonight.
Yes, well, the only thing we've been working on were some of the applications at 18 Tenetta Circle, and I got your information with regard to your attendance at a site visit on tomorrow, as a matter of fact.
Today, it was today.
Oh, today, today, yeah. So other than that, I think all the other application, and there's one other application, I think was at 32 Shorehaven Road. I'm not sure if you were reviewing that one as well.
We are.
But we made a comment, the commission made a comment with regard to our response regarding the waiting the information from the Shellfish Commission. That would on our report as well.
Okay. And would you hang on now, John, to discuss these within old business?
I'm sorry?
Are you available now to discuss these within old business as well?
Sure, sure.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I would like to entertain a motion to accept the committee reports as stated.
Motion to accept?
Thank you.
Second.
Okay, motion by Nick, John second, and all in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Ayes have it, and let's move over to old business. Just take them slightly out of order, and let's just stick with that 18 Tenetta. So thanks, John and Pete, for going out to it. Thanks, John Hiltz, for the availability of the property and the owners as well. Comments, questions, guys, for Mr. Hiltz based on what you saw today?
None for me. It seems relatively straightforward, and not that precedent makes for good policy, but if the neighboring property has this, essentially what's described by the by 18 Tenetta. So it's seems to be very minimal impact.
Anything to add to that, Pete?
How far are they moving the stationary dock out?
The pier, Pete,
The pier, yeah.
out to mean low water. It's roughly equivalent to the one next door. Probably. Give me a second. Let me just.
Mean low water is like 4 feet from the edge.
Yeah, it's it's all done by survey.
Yeah.
You know, that I.
You know, the one next to it's about 40 feet.
Yeah, you know, I mean, again, it's pretty, let me just get the plan here and I can tell you. Let's see here. Yeah, so it'll be a 60-foot pier versus, you know, it's currently 40 feet out. So it goes out, the pier goes out 20 feet from where the end of the float is now.
20 feet more.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I wouldn't have guessed it was 40 feet out to 40 feet out to where it is now.
Yeah, it's the proverbial 440 dock. So.
Yeah.
Well, there's no vegetation or anything around that area. So looked fine to me because the other dock right next to it has it. And then, but the only thing, the guy on the right side has a boat lift too.
Yeah.
So
Would someone like to propose then our standard language, including the right to reserve commentary on full application?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Pete.
I will second it.
Thank you, John. Thanks, guys, for going there. And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
I'll get that out to you, John.
All right. Thanks, Steve. And thanks everybody for making the effort to get out there. I appreciate it.
Thanks for coming.
Okay. Happy New Year to you all. Talk to you later.
Likewise, sir.
Bye.
Sheffield Island, there's two on our docket. One is a COP. I'm still confused in terms of the difference between the LWRD, but Jerry's here to represent it. I know this was met, I believe this was met with no objection from Harbor. So it seems like it's a formality. Alan and John, you had any comments in terms of the history of your committee and commission's comments?
This is with regard to what, the kelp, you talked to the kelp farm?
No, sir, the Sheffield Island wall system.
Oh, Sheffield Wall Island. No, we had, as a matter of fact, we had no comment with regard to that was concerned, and certainly met with the commission's policies with regard to you know, shoring up and preventing any kind of erosion on the shoreline, and so we had a favorable response with that.
And reserve right to comment, yes?
Yeah, all right, to comment if it goes, yeah, moves forward with any additional changes.
Okay, any more discussion, commissioners? Questions? There is a representative here from the Seaport Association. Okay, so I guess it might follow similarly with standard language, including the right to comment on full application.
This is Pete. I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Pete.
And I'll
Second
second it.
I heard Jonathan, and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thanks. Thank you, Jerry, for coming. We'll get that out to you as well.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening. Happy New Year, everybody.
Thank you, sir.
Same to you.
Bye now.
Tom Ryder's here, representing 32 Shore Haven. I know, based on the aerials, that this is not a biologically very active beach. It's sort of a plain sand beach. I'm aware that the one question that Harbor had was the proximity of the structure to the neighbor. I believe the figure was like only 11 feet away. I believe Tom reported that that was documented as, I guess, approved by the neighbor. And
Right, we are getting a letter from the neighbor and that will be part of the application to the DEP.
okay, so that letter isn't signed yet then.
I don't know if it has been or not. They've had communication with the neighbor. The neighbor said he has no problem with it. I don't know if he actually signed the letter or not. I'm in the process of preparing the application and we'll include it.
Okay, our sister commission, what did the Harbor do with this?
Well, again, that was the other comment with regard to the proximity to the neighbor's property. Because we require 25-foot setback unless there's some extenuating circumstances that prevents them from doing that. And then that the other main stipulation was that they have notification from the neighbor, with a written notification of the neighbor that's willing to allow that within that proximity. And that was mentioned in a letter that we were planning to get out to them, but we have no objection for the application moving forward. You know,
Okay.
that stipulation.
Okay,
And the other was unsure whether the Shellfish Commission was going to require removal of the aluminum pier, the dock, et cetera, for as it was in other locations around the
Yeah.
harbor during the month of, I think it was November to I forget the date specified there.
yeah. Actually, we'll talk about that next as far as 18 Burwell is concerned. It was quite interesting, the comments that we received from Sue Jacobson and her follow-up to my email to the new person that they have in our geography. Okay.
I got one question. Did they check to see if there's any oyster beds there? Because they come close to shore in that area. Dougie Stabell, Bloom, and Billard Bloom, all of them have grounds over that area. Do they know if it's gonna be going onto their personal grounds?
Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, I'm sorry, I thought that was for somebody else. No, there's no recreational beds in that area. There are natural beds, but there are no commercial beds within our project area.
Okay, because I know a lot of them go almost right up to shore over that area.
Pull up the map. I can probably do that pretty quickly if you want or not, but all the
Sure.
information I have, you'd like me to, I can do that.
Sure, please, Tom.
I'm going to CT Eco, map viewers, so I'm cruising through this, so. Aquaculture mapping atlas, viewer. These are one of these properties I can just zoom right in from. There's enough landmarks in here that I don't have to search for the address. Let's see here. Oh, there we go. And then town managed beds, state managed beds, recreational beds. Yeah, this is what I remember. Okay, let me pull this up for you and share my screen. And it is this one. Share. You can see this?
Yes.
Okay. I'll zoom in. This is the property here. As you can see, this is, from what I'm reading it, this is the beds here, and these are the beds over here. I took it as this did not have the beds.
Yeah, that would be true since it's
Okay.
contiguous there with the mooring field to the south.
Right, that's the way I interpreted it as well.
Yep.
Can I stop sharing, or do you want anything else from this information?
Commission, questions, comments?
None for me.
No,
Thank you. Anyone want to move on this?
I'll move to approve
Seconded.
with the standard language, yeah.
And second by Jordan. And again, this then, just to be clear in terms of what we're approving is standard language and ability to comment on full application. Right, John?
Correct.
Yep, Jordan?
Correct.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
all right,
Thank you. 18 Burwell. 18
Great, thanks all. Have a
Oh,
good
thank you,
evening.
Tom.
Have a
Happy
good
New
Year.
Year. Thanks for
Thank you.
coming.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, Tom.
Bye, Jonathan.
18 Burwell is one that I thought we had put to bed, and I, as you've seen, received a rather unusual email from the new person representing Deep for our geography, and I sent back some commentary to her, and Sue Jacobson fired back some commentary to us, and I find it confusing and sort of relates to what Dr. Pinna was just saying. If we have a condition for the removal of a ramp and dock in the winter, let's say for seed oystering. I mean, she expressly says that that's not enforceable by the DEP. And we've had that language in there for as long as I've been around. Pete, probably, would you say much longer than that? Pete? Pete, you hear me?
Yeah, it's been that way since day one.
Yeah.
Years they'd have to, because that's the area where wintertime is when they would seed oyster.
Yeah, I don't frankly know where they're going with this. You know, I can reply all and just reiterate our stance. I'm just confused in terms of why they're asking these questions. I see you, John. One of the things was that we proposed the 5-foot clearance under the dock, under the pier at mean high water. That's not our number. That's actually their number that they question. It's on their website.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know where they're coming from with some of this stuff. So these are, that's a quantitative thing. It's measured, and it's not just head clearance. It's a defined head clearance. So Dr. Pino, please, sir.
No, well, that was one of the comments that the Harbor Commission had made regarding that removal of the aluminum. We have in that response that we gave to for 18 Burwell is that the potential for removing that aluminum ramp and dock during the periods of November 15th to April 15th, as well as they also had plans to do some eradication of some Phragmites, you know, in that area that we had made a recommendation that go under a separate application, because there was that was sort of intimated that they were going to do that, but that was not in the original application to begin with.
Right. And then they indicated that they weren't going to do it, correct?
Yes. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So anything else about that? Otherwise, I'll just reply all to her tomorrow morning.
Steve, I got a question.
Sure.
We went over this before. What if we write for our town the regulations? Will that supersede the state?
Well, I don't think anything necessarily supersedes the state, but I mean, if we developed a regulation, it would have to go through the ordinance committee.
Right.
And be approved by the council.
So the reason I'm saying that on all your electricians, plumbers, and everybody, if the town says we want 4 plugs, but the code says you're allowed 6, you have to follow with them, because it's a better improvement by the town, so it supersedes the state. So just wondering.
Yeah, I mean, it's been my experience that when commissions talk about putting together ordinances, proposals, they don't do it because they say it takes so long, and then that time actually goes by pretty quickly. And if they wanted to do something, they should just do it and just see if it gets approved or not. Yeah, okay. Moving on to 132 Water Street. Jim is here for that. Again, this is not the COP portion for that newly purchased property. It is the docks, ramps, and pilings portion. And as always, thanks to Dr. Pino for letting us see the COPs that his committee sees. That's a good partnership. Alan and John, maybe could you guys speak here to what was resolved at Harbor for 132 water, if anything?
Yeah, what we had indicated to Mr. Bajek was that against Harbor Commission policy, that the close proximity of the extended piers, I think there are 5 piers that will extend within 10 feet of the Federal Navigation Channel, is inconsistent with the harbor management plan. We recommend at least 20 feet from a Federal Navigation Channel, or according to Army Corps of Engineering's policy, is that it be three times the depth of that harbor. By following the depth of our harbor, which is a 12-foot harbor in that region right there, that it would be 36 feet if they were to follow Army Corps rules. But our plan has 20 feet from in that area, as a 20 feet setback in that area, and that would be inconsistent with the harbor management plan as such. I don't know, Jim. You gave me an application that was dated 2010. Is that correct?
It's actually a permit, John.
Permit, that's correct. I'm sorry, permit. That's 2010, but that was to Bloom Brothers. This is what I didn't understand, Jim. It was to Bloom Brothers. It wasn't to 132 Water Street LLC. I'm just wondering, is that still valid?
As far as I know, permits that are issued to previous permittees are valid
But I'm just wondering,
by new owners.
there's a limitation to that. I was wondering if it's over. You figure it's 2010. We're talking 2024, and I'm not sure if the permit is over 7 years or something like. You might want to check that out.
Well, the permits. This is to actually do the construction part.
Right, and which was
It's
never
valid.
And it's not.
But then the structure stays there.
But that's not in the same location. The piers that you had indicated on that 2010 application are south of where you had intended the other finger.
Right, they're on the finger floats on the end of the T of the dock that's along the property line with the Ice Shota Yacht Club.
Yeah. Well,
there were 4 fingers that were authorized that extended to within 10 feet of the federal channel.
Right. Were those initiated? Or were they? I don't know. Were they?
They were actually installed.
Okay.
They're not there now, but they were installed and used for several years up until recently, I understand. And then I don't know if it was a maintenance thing, but they've been recently removed from what I understand. And, you know, the COP that we're applying for in that area kind of mimics that 10-foot setback for the redesign of the floats in that particular location.
Well, I don't know why. Perhaps if the commission did review, I have to go back and look at some notes going back to 2010. I'm not sure if I have access to that or they're available to me now. I don't know. What I'm saying is that I'm not sure if I have the comments from the Norfolk Harbor Management Commission and why that was not picked up previous to that. In other words, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know about that. And the other thing, and I'm not sure of whether being in close proximity to the Federal Navigation Channel, whether that's going to evoke a 408 permit from the Army Corps as well. I've been in contact with the Army Corps to see whether that's within that jurisdiction or what with purview. I'm not exactly sure, but that comment I have not gotten response back from yet.
Yeah, we've also coordinated with the Army Corps, and we also have not heard back from them yet. But it's our feeling that we will have to comply with the 408, Section 408 requirements that the Army Corps would impose.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure about that because I had a nice discussion with the person who's in charge of that. This Jennifer Thallenheiser, who is the person involved in that, and she had indicated that might be the way to go. So under this right now, I'm just have to go into the circumstance that it is right now is inconsistent with the harbor management plan from the standpoint of the setback of within 10 feet of the channel. I mean, that was our comment that we had with at the commission meeting.
And that was voted on, John, so that was formally resolved?
Yeah, with the idea that Mr. Bajek was going to send verification of the of the previous permit that went forward. But again, I'm not sure if that, again, we want to check that out, Jim. That valid, that COP that is valid after beyond 7 years.
Okay, I can get confirmation for or against that, from the.
I'm under the impression right now, Jim, that it is not. Because as we've dealt with other applications in the past that went beyond, but within that limit. But I would be interested to find out whether that's the case. But right now, since we don't have any verification, we'd have to go with our comment with regard to our meeting, that with being within 10 feet of the Federal Navigation Channel, that it would be inconsistent with the plan.
Okay, I will contact the Jeep and see what they say about whether or not the COP is still in place as far as the structures being legally there.
The only thing I'm concerned about is that you've got piers that have different length. You go from 23 feet all the way out to maybe 38 feet, I believe, as far as the length of those piers. And those boats are going to be going in horizontally horizontal to the channel. I'm just wondering how much encroachment that will be, especially being within 10 feet of the navigation channel.
I've been advised by the client that the boats will not extend beyond the limit of each of those fingers.
Oh, well, that would certainly be important too. But all right. Well, as I said, that's information right now that's pending.
Okay.
And because it's pending, John, this has not been submitted to the state yet?
No, it
So,
isn't.
okay, so you resolved?
Yeah, I was working on that today, as a matter of fact, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thanks. So will that be submitted to the state, or?
I need to talk to people from the Army Corps and also talk to Emily Hertz with
Okay.
DEP.
But it seems like it's pending some information from
Yes.
Jim, so
Yes.
yeah, maybe it's wise for us to just table this. Questions, comments, commissioners?
I think we should table it until we get some answers.
Nick, I think I heard you as well, sir.
No, I have no comment here, but I would think to table it until we have all the answers.
Okay. Anything else, guys? Questions, comments? Since we have a quorum, Pete, would you introduce that as a motion to table, please?
I make a motion to wait until we get all the information.
And Nick, would you second it formally, please, sir?
Second motion.
Thank you, sir. And all in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Okay.
I'd be just see real quick, I'd be curious, if there were any kind of aerial photography of when the fingers existed and how the boats lined up against it.
Good question.
I think that could be helpful. If it's gonna mimic those, that will give us some sense of how it's gonna impede or not impede upon the channel.
Good question. Jim, you copy that?
Yep, I can look into that.
Okay.
It
Okay.
doesn't have to, just anything, even for my shoulder or something.
Yep.
All right, thanks. Moving on to new business. I just have one in terms of an announcement. I don't know who's on the listserv or not, but the annual gathering of Shellfish Commissions is, I believe it's Saturday, February 4th, if I have the date right. February 3rd, sorry, at the station in New Haven. Tessa did not publish an agenda. Frankly, the agendas are kind of similar from year to year, but lunch is very good. So if anyone would like to go to that, including Harbor, please just ping me by email, and we can work with Bill in terms of paying our fee for the luncheon. Anything else under new? Hearing none. The next meeting is scheduled for February 1st. I don't think outside of what we just heard for 132 Water Street that there's anything else incoming. So if the February meeting is typically the meeting that we have dropped historically, I don't think we did it last year. Guess it'd be my recommendation to hold it. If we can move that forward for 132 Water. Anything else under new? Thanks everyone for coming. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Good New Year.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night all.
Happy New
Thank
Year,
you.
everybody.
Feel better, Nick.
Thank you.
Good. Where am I?
Bye all.
Bye now.